Welcome,
3, 2,
Bone
1,
Storm, to
start.
another late start from Mr. Heath, who
9
has
minutes.
no respect for his partner's time, even though we do it at the same time every week. Kevin,
It's
any
a rough time.
what?
It's 6:30. It's right in the middle of everything.
It's 6:30. It's 6:42. 6:30 would be when we start. We would be almost done by now if you started on time. And you agreed to this time. If you want another time, I'll do another time. Work with me. I'm willing to work with you.
Okay, we'll pick a new time. Okay, go.
Good, because I guarantee you'll be late to that. What is behind you? Is that something you've covered up? Is that like a water heater?
Yeah.
Why is it exposed partially?
Oh, I'm gonna put up something. Those are just some spare doors I found in my neighbor's yard.
Spare door? Who in the hell has spare doors for their house just like, oh, I know, dummies who have projects that are endless. Let's get started this week, you jerky. Let me share my PowerPoint for you.
Yes, I'm sure my players have the smallest pictures of the bunch, like always, and yours are someone. Here we go. Here we go.
All right, start your analysis, stud.
Hey, I like it. Finally, it's week 10, and you finally have Christian McCaffrey on here in any size or shape. Yes, sir.
I want to make sure it wasn't a bust.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And I see you've got Mahomes. You got 2 Kansas City players in here. Where's Kelsey?
I didn't put him in there. I don't know. I thought Tyreek Hill is a big player. I know who Mahomes is.
I like it. But you have a blank here. Who's in that blank?
Blank.
The blank right underneath Mahomes and ahead of Thomas.
There's nobody there. I could have thrown another picture in there. I just didn't have one that fit. All the other ones were kind of sized differently, so I just shuffled
You should
it the
have
way I
taken a
could.
picture of your defense of the week.
I tell you, why don't you do one of these one time? Then you can start critiquing all of mine,
You
jerk
look
face.
great, buddy.
Thank you. All right, let's move on to the first game. It's you losing, not helping me.
Okay, I gave this the old college try, and I believe I lost by less than a point, 0.9.
Yes.
I fall to the shit show. I gave it my all. I fell short, much like I do everywhere else in life. 150 something 0.3 to 150 something 0.4.
God, you are the worst. You can't even see. Do you need glasses too?
Yeah, I can't see those numbers.
Do you have glasses?
Not prescriptions. I got readers.
When's the last time you've been to an optometrist?
The last time you ate.
You already answered the question. Get in there and get your eyes checked, you dummy.
The last time you had vegetables.
Let's talk about the score. First of all, the irony of ironies, and Todd and Jason, this is for you. Kevin wins this game if he does what? Starts Matt Gay. What a maroon! He starts Greg Zuerlein instead.
He was projected to get more.
Well, he didn't. He got a weak 4 points only, Greg Zuerlein. You get Gay in there, he'll win for you. That's what Jason and Todd have been talking about all year, and now you just throw it to the wind.
Hey, I found him on the waiver wire, so shut it.
Lamar Jackson had a great day with 39 points. Amari Cooper with 33 in that Dallas loss. The rest of it, middling. You, Jameson Winston, 20, nice. Christian McCaffrey, 28, nice. Mark Andrews, 23, nice. DJ Moore, 23, nice. Yep. I mean, you had 24 points, Randall Cobb, but more than of your right in it, and then you just fell short like you do every year in this sport. But maybe this is the year that Cam Carson gets the second trophy. It's not over yet. It's far from over, people. Next up.
I just got to beat you. Okay, next we have Mac Be Your Daddy Mustangs, who fell to the Wild Poopers with a monster score of what looks like 160 something. I can see that Mac, I think, got 147.1.
Correct.
To 160.1.
0.5, close enough. Yes, again, my best buddies, Kevin and Kevin, screw old Maddie by not being able to beat their opponent. I needed you to beat Cat Clemens. You couldn't get your hands off your guitar and put them back on the keyboard to start typing in better people. Let's talk about this. Cat wins with Dalvin Cook running over that Dallas defense for 31 points. Melvin Gordon stealing 22 from my Austin Eckler. 25 points for Golden Tate. Very nice with Danny Dimes dropping it to him. On the other side, you got Mr. Clemens with a middling bunch of scores, as high as from Lev Bell at 16. Oh, excuse me, except the Niner defense, who went off on Seattle, even though they lost with 24 points. Do better next week, Clemens. Next up.
Before you go on from that, Kev,
Yes.
way to go on our
Oh,
plan.
right
You
here, pal.
Matt Gay, I said, who do you think would score less?
Exactly.
I
Collusion, conspiracy.
Job.
Get Jake on the line.
Next, get Jake on the line. Next, we've got Malibu Stacy's, who were victorious over the Gentlemen Four Quarterlies. Thank goodness it was slightly more, than the score. Terry was having, I guess, some issues adding a player to her team. Now, when I looked at her team, I asked her to tell me what the error was that she was getting, and she said the error was can't add players, even though she had an empty slot. I took a look at her team, and even though her bench showed an empty slot, when I counted the players, I counted whatever it is, 12 or 16, I guess, whatever it is. Anyway, it's one of two things happened. Either she had a player that came off of IR, perhaps, but she claims he's still on IR, and you moved him to IR for her?
I didn't do anything. I've not moved anyone for IR.
In the beginning of the year?
Not that I recall. I don't remember moving anything.
Yeah, then that's the problem. She had too many players on her team. She claims she's got a guy, but he was on IR. My guess is that they wouldn't allow her to add any more players because she already had too many. She actually had to drop.
Okay, but what's strange is if you look here, it looks like there is an empty spot on her bench, whereas if you look at the Malibu Stacy's, she has Chris Conley there. Cherry has nobody there.
I know. This is what I'm saying.
Well, you know what? Let's. I mean, if she still can't add someone, let me know tomorrow, and I will be happy to try to add someone or put in for her or take a look at it. But we never got to discuss this.
Talk to her. I'll write her tonight.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure you won't. Okay, so let's talk about the scores here.
Let's talk about it.
Dak Prescott with an impressive 32 points, nicely done. Don Keenan Allen for 16. The rest are forgettable. Terry had a nice day from Chris Carson, and Michael Gallup had a good day with 17.6, but not enough and hard to start when you got James Conner in there, even though he's scoring 0. But congrats to Donna. Win's a win. Moving on to the next set.
Yeah, she needed it bad. We've got the punishment due, who looks like they fell to face herpes. Punishment due needing a big win, but didn't happen, it doesn't look like.
No, in fact, what's interesting, and very quietly, Joe, I'm sure much to his surprise if he watches this, has actually been racking up a ton of points. He's been scoring really high each week. He came out a little slow out of the box, but he's been just killing it lately. Kyler Murray, 35 points. Michael Thomas, 30 points. Double 14 from Everett and Robinson. Very nice day for you, Mr. Joe. On the other side, poor Todd continues his struggles. 25 points from Josh Allen. That's about it. The rest of them were all pretty sad. Again, I think Joe might be the dark horse, and I just hope that he does pay attention to see how he moves on from here, because he's a real contender at this point.
You want another kick in the teeth, Mr. Dickey?
Sure.
Greg, who has probably the most powerful team out there right now and most of the season, drafted from a baseball game box seat.
Yes, I know. It's disgusting.
For us?
Well, you know what it says? It says none of us were smart enough to even take a flyer. He waited until round 13 to get Lamar Jackson. We all said nobody's buying that hype. That alone has propelled him past a lot of people in a lot of these games. I'm not saying he's the only one, but I'm saying he is he is the cornerstone of that team. He has other big scores, but that steal was huge.
I'm just saying, all right, buddy, let's talk about it. We've got the Lisi Stratus going up against the Braille Bombers, and if I squint, it looks like the Braille Bombers lost.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
So this was an epic tale that came down to that crazy Monday night game. Did you watch that game, Cam?
Hey, I don't get that game because I don't get ESPN.
ESPN? Okay, sorry.
But I do
Loser!
Now. I do now. No, I do now. Because the package we got with Disney Plus comes with Hulu and ESPN, Thank you,
Good.
Maddie. Christmas came early for Kev.
So you can watch it. So you can watch it next week. There'll be no excuse. Okay, good. Well, you missed possibly the game of the year in the NFC. It was the undefeated Niners going up against Seattle and Russell Danger Wilson. It was incredible. So since you didn't watch it, I will give you the play-by-play at the end.
Okay.
Now, Mama was losing going into that game. She needed a big game from Russell, and she also had George Kittle's backup, a guy named Ross Dwelly, who we didn't expect much from, but anything would be helpful since her tight end was gone, right? So on the other side, Jen's team has the kicker for Seattle. Now, again, it's a kicker. You don't expect – it's not Justin Tucker. You don't expect a lot of points. I was still reasonably confident that my mom could pull because Russell's been scoring no matter what the team, right? But San Francisco has a pretty stout defense. So I'm looking, and at one point in time, I want to say it was the third quarter, I looked up, Russell Wilson had 86 passing yards, and that was it. I'm like, oh, sweet Jesus. No way is Mama winning this one. It's over, right?
Yeah.
But I'm watching it. Slowly they're climbing. I get David put to bed. I come out. I'm like, what's up with the game? Because it was getting close. Dad says, hey, the rookie kicker for San Francisco just tied it up. They're going into OT. I'm like, oh, my God. I look up on the thing, and Mom's down by about maybe 2 or 3 points. I'm like, holy crap. She's within striking distance. This could actually happen. Seattle has the ball. They are driving. They're in between the 20 and 30-yard line. This is it. They're just going to kick a field goal and win the game and go home, right? This is it. Russell, who rarely throws an interception, fades one over to the right flat, looks to be slightly over the defender, and there's another guy that the safety's closing this way. I'm like, oh, God, oh, God. Other guy picks it up. When you look at it again in a wider shot, there's like triple coverage. I'm like, what the hell was he thinking? Niners get the ball. Now they're running it back. Now they start driving. They get down to about the 30, 40-yard line. They have to kick it. Now here comes that rookie. Now the rookie hit before from 47 yards to kick it into overtime. Same distance this time, 47 yards. He approaches, ducks it. I mean, it just goes left inside. Barely gets 5 yards off the ground. It's done. I'm like, oh, my God. Seattle's got the ball back. They go first down, second down, third down. They're like third and a mile. I'm like, oh, they're nowhere near field goal range.
That's
what happens?
Territory there.
Play breaks down. Russell runs it for 30 yards right at the middle. Nobody's even covering him. Now they're within range. They get closer. They're in between 20. I look at the score. I have this on my phone. My mom is ahead by 0.2 points or 0.1 point. I'm like, oh, my God. But wait, the kicker for Seattle's not going to go. I'm like, oh, he can't hit. He's got to miss it. She's going to win. He kicks it 3 points. She wins, game over. Oh, no. It was a magical game. I couldn't believe it.
Well,
So, moving on. Sorry, I just thought it was an exciting time because rarely do you get a point to where you're literally 0.1 ahead, and if this guy misses the field goal, you're going to win, or at least you have a chance, and then it goes south.
Okay, well, I'm a little bit bummed about this next game. I thought there'd be a whole lot more smack talking. I thought there'd be a whole lot more hype. You went into this quietly. You went through it quietly. Unfortunately for my buddy Jay, he fell short. The grudge match of ultimate grudge matches. I think you've moved on to his son, like I called it earlier, a much more exciting game. Unfortunately, you improved to the, well, I don't know what your record is, but you ended up beating by 40-something to 111?
No, it was 173 to 111, but that's okay. It's the score to the right. Yes, I was quiet because I've learned I'll go back and forth goofing sometimes, but I think it was just a busy day. And once Pat Mahomes had a bunch of points, I didn't want to jinx anything. And he still had Aaron Rodgers going. What?
That's what it is. Ever since my Mahomes comment, you've taken this way too seriously. You don't want to jinx anything.
Yeah.
You're going to be rubbing your genitals and playing with a flickering light bulb because that's how you won 1 week. And
that's disgusting, sir. We will not have that kind of talk on this PG-rated show. You're the one that covers himself in baby oil to watch The Mandalorian. So let's pump the brakes on that one. So
good.
Let's go back to this one. Yes, Pat Mahomes, a 40-burger. Christian Kirk, a 40-burger. Wow. And I will love this call. At the last minute, I found out Matty Stafford wasn't going to be the quarterback for the Lions that week. He was out. So I pull out Kenny Galladay, shove in Mecole Hardman, who up until towards the end of the game, I was like, shoot, I made the wrong call. He didn't have a lot of points. And then, boom, he catches one off to the races. 19 points. Nice job, Hardman. So, a good win over Jason. I take you. Slap. I take Jason. Slap. You both are my biatches this year. So, suck it to both of you.
That's okay. We'll play again. Well, probably not.
I know. I got to make it a playoffs. I'm going to see you, you jerk face. Talk about the standings and how unfair this all is.
All right, here's going to be a squint show if I've ever seen it.
Go get your readers, old man.
We've got Brockway on top, the shit show, followed by the Wild Poopers, and still, even though he had a big win against one of his rivals, the Stonecutters bringing up the rear. In Ogdenville, we've got the Malibu Stacy's still on top, followed by the Lacey Stratus and the Punishment Due, still within striking distance. North Haverbrook, Mac Be Your Daddy Mustangs, even though he loses, he's still on top. Second, the Great Cornholio, and in last place, but still within striking distance, is Camp Krusty. Finally, Springfield, as you said, Space Herpes continuing a decent season in first in his division, followed by the Braille Bombers and the Poor Gentlemen Four Quarterlies with 2 wins on the year bringing up the rear.
Yep, so this really has everybody but poor Terry, better luck next year, knotted up. Anybody can still make it to playoffs. These next 3 weeks are going to be insane in the membrane, people, because it can be anybody's race. All 3 divisions can really swing both ways so far, so it's awesome. It's going to be a race to the finish. Set your lineups. I will talk about this unless you can read this. This was the breakdown of the ads and who got picked up and who didn't.
Lord. And this doesn't even count your backup trade.
You'll see all my backups on there, jerk face.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so first up, I didn't even know this until I read up on my research day that Devontae Freeman was going to be out, so some dude named Brian Hill was going to be in. I bid on him, and I swear the first bid I thought was 33, and I thought, that's too high. I'm going to go 31. Todd wins with 33. Damn it, Todd. Greg bid 15, so obviously this was a guy people were looking for. So I was in the majority looking for that guy. The other battle was for the Steelers defense. The Steel Curtains back. I thought $11 was pretty high for a defense. Apparently, Todd wanted to go above my head again with 18. You got me twice, Todd. Twice, you jerk.
And you wonder why I call him your nemesis or your rival, your grudge.
He's in my head when it comes to this, man. He's got me.
He owns you. He's getting mail there now.
I know. The rest of them were all just straight pickups. Nobody missed anybody. But really, those were the only ones that were contested, where somebody lost because somebody else outbid them. So, anywho, that's the excitement for that day. Moving on to this next week's matchups. I don't know how much you can see. I can talk to this.
I know. I can see it. I can see it.
Okay, go ahead.
You talk to the players. I can do the top.
Hit it.
You've got 2 teams who could really use a win. Me, I'm desperate. I could be in the thick of things right now, if not for one lousy point. Unfortunately, I didn't get it, although it projects me to be winning this week. We'll see what happens. Camp Krusty against the Lacey Stratus. What do you think?
Yeah, projections actually have you up by 30 points, which is quite heavy. Again, I don't trust ESPN at all, but let's look at her matchup. She's got Deshaun Watson on the road at Baltimore. Baltimore's got a pretty good defense. That might hamper him a bit. She got Josh Jacobs going against the soft Bungles. That should be big. Ronald Jones, who has just emerged as the guy in Tampa Bay going up against New Orleans. That's a division game. That'll be a big one. Sammy Watkins at the Chargers. That should be good for him. Larry Fitzgerald, San Francisco. That's not so good. On your side, Jameis Winston going against New Orleans. New Orleans has got a pretty good defense. So we will see how that one goes. McCaffrey at Atlanta. Now, Atlanta has been not so good, but then they rose up this last week to surprise everybody. Who knows what's going to happen this week? Devontae Freeman, he is doubtful, buddy. That's why everybody picked up that other guy.
I know, don't worry.
You better take a look at that. DJ Moore should continue his run in Atlanta because I don't know about their secondary. Mike Williams at KC, trying to look for any other favorable matchup. Oh, and the Bills at Miami, that should be good for you because the Bills are in desperate need of a win after that loss this last weekend to the Browns, and they play Miami, who's been pretty soft, although Fitzmagic has been making them believe again. So we'll see. Next up.
Okay. Next up, we've got the Malibu Stacy's in the top of her division at 500, going against a powerhouse. Mac Be Your Daddy. Actually, math, not your strong suit, had me at over 15, not 30, but this game is a 30-point difference so far on the projections. 1/5. Good God almighty, Mac Be Your Daddy's got a strong team.
Yeah, they're liking his matchups again. You got Le'Veon Bell going up against the soft Washington. All these opponents against Arizona, who's had a porous defense to say the least. He's got Jimmy G. He has Tevin Coleman. He has Emmanuel Sanders if he plays. He has the Niners defense against Arizona. That should be a feast for your Niners against Arizona. Now, was coming off a win. Who knows? That may have rattled them. We'll see what Arizona does to him. But then you got Dak Prescott going up against Detroit. That should be a good matchup. Alvin Kamara, hard to stop going up against any team. And then you have Devin Singletary going up against Miami, looking to redeem himself. This is after that trade, so we'll see if that pays off for her this week. Next up,
we've got, oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, geesh. What do they call this? It's a domestic dispute for sure. Family, son against mom. Let's see. You are at 5-5. As you spoke, though, you're in a tough division. You probably need a win here. Braille Bombers, something must be going on with this lineup because 86 is paltry. So make sure she checks that out. But so far, it's got you beating her 123 to 86.
Shh, I'm very quiet this week. Let her totally screw this up because I need to win way more than she does. She's going to make the playoffs if she loses out. It doesn't even matter. No, she's going to update her lineup and we'll have a fair match. She's got Russell coming off that huge win, although he's on a bye. Sorry, Russell. The rest of her team, we'll see how it fleshes out. Looks like George Kill's going to miss another week, so she's got to find a backup there at tight end. David Johnson's been doing nothing in Arizona. I don't know if he will continue to do nothing, but we'll see. She's got the Rams looking to bounce back against the Bears. We'll see. My side, we got Pat Mahomes against the Chargers. I'm liking that matchup. We got Austin Eckler against the Kansas City Chiefs. That should be fun. I'm hoping we still do Monday night, possibly with your sisters, but that's for later. We may do something on Sunday that might be a little differently. We're going to talk about that later. And we got my man Christian Kirk, who had a huge day last week. Hope now going up against that stinking San Francisco defense. That is not going to be good. I may have to pull them out. I'm scared of that defense. So we will see how it goes, but I need a win. I am desperate.
Okay. You are.
Yes. Next. Can you see that?
And it still shows, sorry, it did switch. We have the shit show over 7-3, projected big over my sister, 151 to 109.2. Again, I will remind her to try to add somebody to complete her roster, but as it sits right now, it's supposed to be a breeze for him.
Yep, it looks like he's going to just go through her team as if a warm knife.
Look at all those check marks in his column.
Yeah, I know. Again, you got Lamar Jackson, you got Chubb. Chubb, we're going to shut you down, so that's not going to happen against Pittsburgh. Mark Ingram against Houston, that should be a good matchup. Amari Cooper should shred Detroit. Chris Godwin should do good against New Orleans. It's hard to bet against him while he's been playing so well. And look at him. He's bracketing the Cleveland running backs. He's got both Hunt and Chubb. You think that little of the Steelers? How dare you, Greg? How dare you? We're going to prove you wrong. Go, Terry. I hope Drew Brees drops 50 on that stupid-ass show and takes him down. Next up,
we've got the Wild Poopers. Two strong teams going against each other. This will help you. Aren't they both in your division?
No, the Poopers are. Joe is not.
Joe is not. I'm sorry. Okay, so you're cheering for Joe.
Yes.
Going against the Wild Poopers. At least ESPN thinks he's going to win, but we'll see. Cat is tough.
Yes, she is really tough. I am totally Team Joe, hoping Dalvin Cook doesn't just completely go off against Denver. Melvin Gordon, I hope he loses some snaps to Eckler. I am desperate. Ezekiel Elliott, Detroit, that is not going to be good, especially after he didn't do well last week. I expect him to have a huge week this week. So I'm on a wing and a prayer here. Hopefully Joe can come through. But, man, again, look at all of his guys going up against San Francisco. He's got Kyler Murray going against San Francisco. He's got excuse me. So I'm just praying that they don't do that great. He does have the Pats defense now. They're back. Maybe that'll help him to a win over the Poopers. Next up.
All right, and this is probably the last one here. Oh, my gosh, this is like the week of family disputes. We have another one here. Another multi-generational matchup. The great Cornholio going against his son, the punishment due. Shows that it's going to be kind of close, but it likes punishment. But I'm guessing that's because Aaron Rodgers is on the bye.
Yep.
So but actually, if you switch that up with any average QB, probably going to be very close.
Yeah, Jason just added Derek Carr this morning, so we'll see him put into the lineup, and
Okay.
that should bolster Jason's score. This will be a fun matchup because it always is father and son. Todd has been raging against his team and trying to fire them up any way he can. He's got Josh Allen going up against Miami. That should be good for Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Got James White going against Philly. That should be good for him. DeAndre against Baltimore. Well, that's a little sketchy. Juju, let's see if he shows up. And Hawkinson against Dallas. I don't know. Stephon Diggs against Denver should be good. For Jason, he's missing his leader at QB, but he does have Odell Beckham against Pitt. No, I don't want that to happen. He's got Julio Jones going up against Carolina. That should be good, although they're playing outside. I don't know how he does. And Jared Cook, we'll see how he does for New Orleans. Well, yeah, I'm excited. This is always going to be fun because they will be active on the board, that's for sure, going against each other. And I know Todd desperately needs this win, as does Jason. Everybody needs a win. There's no hiding anymore. So on to the last one.
Monday Night Football at Terry's, it
This is a
appears.
question mark now for a reason that the last time we talked about this, she said she'd only done that because Jason said he worked weekends, so she was offering this as an alternative so he would be able to show up. Well, since that time, his job has changed. He can now get away on weekends.
Oh,
But
okay.
here was the problem. Last time with series, she didn't have the red zone. We were stuck watching one game in the morning, which is not good for football junkies like ourselves. So she is going to check. She seems to think she has red zone. I talked to her today. If she does, maybe we'll go there. Maybe we won't. We'll see. Or we might go with a Monday night. We're going to talk to her and find out what our options are and let everybody
Okay.
know. Okay?
All right. Well,
So-
whatever you do, have fun.
Sorry, somebody's trying to jump in the broadcast. We're filming. Please, some respect. Go ahead.
Is that your mom?
Goodness, just no.
Have some respect.
Respect the craft. Kevin
Hey.
doesn't. I'd like somebody in this family too.
Before we move on, I will say this. Those
Yes.
of you who are not active on the waiver wire, for whatever reason, either I haven't been so lucky in the past or I haven't paid attention, but
Okay.
unlike a lot of years that I remember, there's been a lot of value out on the wire, and people, maybe this is what I'm not noticing more and more, is people they're not just bye-week fill-ins. There are people who are picking up guys off of the wire and starting them all year. You got guys like Jared Cook, who's been on and off. Now he's, I think Jason, bless you,
Excuse
tight
me.
end
Sorry.
starter. You've got, replacements for quarterbacks who've gone out. There's a ton of guys where I know people picked them up off the wire, and they're still in their starting lineup.
Yep. This year has been better. Last year it was a really thin wire, no pun intended. It was like
Yeah.
there was only a couple of people. Most of them were
Yeah.
fill-ins, but there was maybe only a few people that hit. But this year, you're right. There is a plethora of talent out there, and there's a lot of people dropping people that everybody thought was good that drafted him high, and they're like, they're not performing. I cut my second overall running back because he's crap and he hasn't been doing anything. I'm like, I don't need him anymore. I'm like, I'm not even playing him.
Well, you may disagree with this, but this may also be a condition of not having such huge squads, right? You have to drop and pick up people from time to time. Either they get injured or you got bye week problems. I know one week I had nobody on the bench playing. I did everything I could just to field a team.
Yeah.
Everybody else was either out or on buys, and I think that encourages a lot of either movement or people just riding off a week, which I've seen too.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yep, this is true. We just don't have that deep of a bench. Of course, guys like Jason and I, we love deep benches because we'd be stashed with all kinds of nuggets.
Yeah.
But most people are like you. They don't like that big of a bench because then it takes everything out of the pool. At least this way, like you said, there's always got to be something. We can't hold on to all the places we like to. So that makes it more fun. I totally agree with that. And it makes the auction more fun because people are outbidding each other to get those people. So, totally fine with that. All right, so any closing thoughts before we end this broadcast?
No, we are slowly plodding our way to the finish line here.
3 weeks.
Again, it's still anybody's, but we're coming down to it. So
it's a race. It is a super race.
Not to put any pressure on anybody, but there is a trade deadline looming here. I think you said it was the 22nd, if I'm not mistaken.
You know what? We'll verify that next week. I think the 22nd sounds about right. I want to see the 22nd or 29th. I'll verify whichever it is. And I did talk to Jason to confirm this because I was pretty sure it was. But if you look at the ESPN projected rankings for the playoffs, do not believe it. It is not right. It takes the top 8 teams scoring-wise. It doesn't take how we have it. We have the top 2 teams in every division. So
Yes.
it doesn't matter that somebody may be higher on the board than someone else and it looks like they're going to be in the playoffs. They will not be. It's always the top 2, no matter the division. So
Were you hoping that wasn't the case?
I couldn't remember, and the fact that I was on there, I'm like, ooh, maybe. And I'm like, but I don't think so. I'm like, I think we did this. Like, Jason, did we? I say this every year to you, man. It's the top 2 teams. I'm like, all right, I'm desperate. I'm just looking on there. And when I first saw it, I was like, oh, ooh, ooh, that's it. I'm like,
Hey,
not so much. I don't need to.
it ain't over. It ain't
I need,
over.
yeah, I need to knock out Kat or Greg, which is not an impossibility, but it's a steep hill I'm climbing. So we will see how it goes. Kev, any last words?
No,
None.
none.
For Kevin, this is Matt Dickey signing off. Kev, take us home.
Stay classy, Bone Storm.